Kanye West has been on the internet now for the last month or so, doing the craziest things that we have ever seen. The most brazen display of racism I've ever seen, publicly displayed in front of millions of people, coming from a black man. Kanye West has revealed himself to be a clear white supremacist, wearing swastika shirts, selling swastika shirts, claiming explicitly to be a Nazi, promoting Hitler, complimenting Hitler. And he's actually been doing this for years now, but now he's just been full-blown ranting, I am a racist. And if you're a Kanye West fan, most of us, including me, I am a Kanye West fan, are cringing, saddened, weeping inside, watching one of the GOATs absolutely just destroy himself and destroy his own legacy. Kanye West needs, in my opinion, a significant intervention. Unfortunately, I don't think Kanye West allows people around him to actually speak truth to him. Kanye West believes that essentially he's God in human flesh. Kanye West has the biggest God complex that I have ever observed in any human being. This man, that's why he's called himself Yeezus, Yandi, all kinds of things. We think that he was just being creative or trendy or whatever by naming himself these things, naming his album these things. No, it is actually a reflection of the fact that this man thinks he's God in human flesh. He also thinks because he's richer than most of the people on the planet, this has given him some sort of divine right to be whatever it is he wants to be and to say whatever it is he wants to say. He thinks that because he's in a higher tax bracket than everybody else, it also makes him smarter than everybody else. It also makes him more intelligent than everybody else. And so that if you're not in his tax bracket, if you're not as creative as, if you're not as brilliant in many respects as he is, you can't say anything to him. And so now what you have is this person who, for some reason, trying to be a contrarian, I guess, thinking he's just better or smarter than everybody else. I don't think he checks himself in any way, shape, or form. Also does not allow anybody around him to check him in any way, shape, or form. Completely lacking all types of humility. May actually be on drugs. There's reports of him taking, what is it, nitrous oxide or laughing gas. Here's a man that clearly refuses to take any correction whatsoever. And so what do you do when you see this? I mean, it's clear, and this is one of the issues with social media, that Kanye West is also just trying to be provocative. He's also trying to, Kanye West thinks he's so powerful that he can't be canceled, right? Kanye West wants to prove to us that he can go against social norms, even the social norms of decency and humanity and treating other people with respect. Kanye West thinks that he can say whatever he wants about Jewish people, say whatever he wants about whoever he doesn't like, disrespect even dead people like Virgil. And at the end of the day, he can't be canceled. That's what Kanye West prides himself on. No one can tell him anything. No one can humble him. I do what I want, essentially. And this type of attitude has led to the outbursts that we see taking place. Kanye West's God complex extends even to his marriage. He tweeted recently about how he has complete dominion over his wife. She does whatever he wants. We see this obviously to be true because she shows up naked everywhere. He parades her around like some sort of sex slave. She doesn't look like she has agency whatsoever in the relationship. And he seems to pride himself in showing off his wife's beauty. I guess he wants other men to lust after what he has. He wants to show off the fact that his wife is beautiful. It's a strange thing to me. These individuals, these men who, instead of wanting their women to be clothed and exclusive for them in terms of their body, they want to show their body, or they don't mind that their woman's body is being shown off. I never understood it, but it feeds into his ego. Look at me, I'm richer than you. My woman is more beautiful than you. and you can't tell me anything. I am above social norms. I can say what I want, do what I want. I am essentially God in human flesh. That's how Kanye West views himself. And he fancies himself a provocateur, right? And he thinks himself so creative that he can have the wildest opinions and that be construed as art, right? Like the swastika is art to him. He can sell a swastika shirt. Kanye West has had a brilliant fashion mind, right? Imagine someone as brilliant as Kanye West in terms of his fashion mind being reduced to selling a swastika shirt. And by the way, that shirt made him like $1 million day one. So that just goes to tell you that there's a ton of people out there willing to support the racism, but that's a different conversation for a different day. But it's shocking and sad to see someone so brilliant and so talented be reduced to promoting wickedness and evil. Now, obviously Kanye West isn't 100% in his right mind, but that can't be used as an excuse to explain the type of viewpoints that he has taken. I mean, he's become a black white supremacist. You remember that Dave Chappelle skit with, I think his name was Clayton Bigsby, a black white supremacist who coincidentally Kanye West was taking shots at Dave Chappelle recently on social media. I would imagine Dave Chappelle is probably going to have some words for him in his next comedy special. But that's Kanye West, someone who is a black man. But, you know, here's the crazy part about it. In the skit, Clayton Bigsby was blind and he didn't even know he was a black man, but he was promoting white supremacist views. Kanye West knows he's black and still is promoting white supremacist views. So in some respects, he's worse than Clayton Bigsby. But besides his mental health, I think it's clear that after his divorce with Kim Kardashian, in many ways that broke him. In many ways, I think that set him off a path to further exacerbate a lot of the issues that he has with his mental health, with his ego, his pride, his God complex. I think that and he's mentioned this very explicitly, he felt betrayed by a lot of people, that felt betrayed by even society as a whole. No one really spoke up for him when he was going through his divorce and his, I guess, battle over parental rights over the children and all of that. And there's a lot of pain, a lot of frustration there. And I think with Kanye, you have this smorgasbord of unresolved pain, trauma, ego, a serious God complex, and just straight up embracing bad ideas that allows him to be what he is. Now, that's just my armchair psychological breakdown. I have no real say in it, but that's just me looking from afar. But in any case, the question I want to ask is, how long are we going to sit there and just watch this man self-destruct in front of our eyes? I mean, is anybody trying to tell Kanye West the truth? Is anybody? I mean, Kanye West has made it clear he won't listen to somebody that's not in his own tax bracket. What about Jay-Z? Jay-Z's his brother. Jay-Z's known him for years. Jay-Z's in his tax bracket. Is Jay-Z going to reach out? Because somebody's got to reach out. Somebody's got to tap Kanye West on the shoulder and say, brother, chill out. And I'm just wondering, are we going to sit here and just watch this man self-destruct right in front of our eyes? I mean, it's to the point now, I think that we don't even take him seriously anymore. He's like the crazy old man in the village that just walks around and says crazy things. And at first you're concerned, but after a while you kind of just get used to it, and you just kind of see this person not in their right mind walking around babbling, and then you just learn to ignore him after a while. And I think that that's what we're kind of doing. We're just learning to ignore Kanye West. I mean, he's saying the craziest things on X and he's not even getting banned anymore. Now that might be more of a reflection of where X has gone under Elon Musk. But when he said the things he said before, Elon Musk banned him at first. Now Elon Musk not even banning them. And I'm thinking that's just because everybody's just getting used to how crazy Kanye is. Posting pornography on his Twitter page. He's just going off the deep end. advocating for domestic violence, saying it's okay sometimes to beat women and admitting that he's done so. I mean, it's to the point right now where it's just like, we're so used to the chaos, it just becomes entertainment for us in the moment. And we go, oh, here's our crazy uncle again, saying some crazy things, but whatever. We're just going to move on with our lives. And at one point, are we going to say, look, we got to sit this guy down, bro? Like, and I don't know how it has to happen. Like, I think Kanye West has to be totally and completely canceled for him to wake up. And I say that as somebody who I don't even believe in canceling people. Unless you're absolutely crazy and you do absolutely crazy things, right? Like a R. Kelly. R. Kelly is on a short list of people for me that deserve to be canceled. Sometimes you do such crazy things that people need to just stop messing with you. I am not someone who advocates for people being canceled, but I think that's the only way to get through to cancel to Kanye West. See, right now, he's partially canceled. People won't mess with him from a brand standpoint. You won't have, especially, white folk, you're not going to have any major brands or anything like that mess with Kanye West. Just is what it is. Okay. People aren't going to want to associate with him on that level. But in terms of his music, in terms of a lot of his clothing, people still buy his clothing. People still stream his music. You go to his page right now on Spotify, he's got tens of millions of people who stream his music every month. People are still consuming what Kanye West produces and has produced. He's still making a ton of money. I think the only way to get through to Kanye West is if, as a society, we collectively decide to not consume anything that he produces. Hopefully that doesn't have to last forever, but enough to send him a message to say, hey, bro, this isn't right. You need help. It isn't right. It's not okay for you to be walking around with a swastika. Okay? It's not okay. Adolf Hitler thought that the Aryan race was superior to everyone and would have thrown Kanye West black behind in a internment camp, just like everybody, just like with the Jews and everybody else. Thought black people to be inferior, just like with everybody else. And it just bothers me that like Kanye West can't see through that. Has this man become someone who hates himself so much, his own blackness so much, that he would promote someone who would want him harmed, who would have hated him? It's beyond me. It doesn't even make sense. I don't understand how his brain is trying to understand the world, rationalizing with the world. It is what it is. But for me, I'm wondering, what are we going to do as a society? Do we still care about Kanye West, the person, or do we just care about what he has produced for us? Because if we just care about what he's produced for us, then fine, who cares? Let him rant, right? Like, let him do whatever he wants. But I feel like we've gotten used to a man who clearly needs help, and we've just decided, oh well, it's just another crazy rant. It's just another crazy couple of tweets by Kanye. It is what it is. He made graduation. He's one of the GOATs. It is what it is. And my heart breaks for Jewish people as well, because he's going the hardest against them. I mean, he said some things. I mean, I think he's promoted white supremacy in general, which is harmful to everyone who is non-white, but the explicit anti-Semitism is awful. It's terrible. And part of me believes that part of the reason why it's being tolerated is because people are very anti-Semitic. In the climate that exists right now, especially with what's happening in the Middle East, there's a lot of anti-Semitism that will fly on the internet right now. And so Kanye West is kind of like expressing these expressing his hatred for Jewish people at a time where it might actually be acceptable for a lot of people. And all of this is ugly and problematic. And all of this needs to be challenged. We must uphold the dignity that exists in all people. Even if you disagree with what's going on in Palestine right now, Jewish people are still created in the image of God, as are Palestinians, as are everybody else. We must strive to uphold the dignity and the beauty that exists in all people. All people created equal and bearing the image of God inside of them. He didn't give more of the image to white people or more of the image to black people or to Jewish people or to anybody else. All of us bearing the same image of God equal under God and that must be maintained. And Kanye West, who claimed to be a Christian, well, I think there's enough evidence that that's false, should know this, but he clearly doesn't. So when are we going to challenge Kanye West as a society, collectively, completely cancel Kanye West? As someone who doesn't even believe in canceling people, it needs to happen. That might be the only way to save him. Guys, if you made it this far in the video, I thank you so much for listening. Please like and subscribe. I'm trying to grow the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. It's been Providence. Peace.